Testing, testing, testing. Can you guys hear me? Starting. Hold on, guys. We'll be starting in just a few minutes here. One second, guys. Hey, Sam, where do I find the link? I kept it unlisted. Alright. Can you send that out? Can you send that out to the Advantage? Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Alright, I'm live now. Hold on, guys. Alright. Aha. There's the link. Okay, let me. Here's the link. Okay. All right, I'm gonna let this stream populate. Sorry for the delay, guys. You know, just try to make sure that everything is working correctly. All right, I'm gonna let this stream populate. Sorry for the delay, guys. You know, just try to make sure that everything is working correctly. All right, cool. Alright, so let me make sure that I am doing this correctly. Alright, just move this up here. Guys, free field to chat. I will be watching this very intensely. So I will be watching the chat. Obviously, this is our third Moon Lounge call. Just getting things set up here. So welcome everybody. And this is really for you, geared towards serious investors. You know, what's up, guys? What's up? Very delicious, fresh to salt. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. And we're really going to look at the markets today and see what kind of strategy we're really going to plan out, right? We don't know what's going to happen. The future is bright for Bitcoin, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we are taking every single precaution that we have to take. So let me switch to CoinMarketCap. Yep, Crypto Pops. Yep, I know, fresh to salt. Yep. So we are dipping here. So we are hitting our first psychological level of 9,000. So I posted a chart yesterday, and we could go take a look at that. Actually, hold on. Let me actually go to the technical analysis section. So this is what I kind of I kind of drew up yesterday. So I said, yes, we have a $9,400 support, which we did. And I said, if that was broken through, you know, we won't have our next critical support until around 5,800. And while I was doing this analysis, I took a look at Amal's actual at his technical analysis as well, and Jordan's as well, and we all seem to kind of agree upon this. That 9,400 support was critical, and then that 5,800 support is our next critical level, and we could see a fairly steep decline. But that being said, we are also going to see the psychological levels really take a play here. And how can I figure that out? Snake, what are psychological levels? So psychological levels are whole number psychological levels. So whole numbers, for example, you know, 9,000 is a big psychological level. 9,995, you know, that's that $10,000, that's psychological level. But things like 9,700, without technical analysis, without looking at technical analysis, I would say that isn't a strong level, right? You want to make sure, for example, I like to look at this. So wow, we're well below 9,000 here. So we did break through that, and are we building resistance at 9,000? We are. See, there's 37. All the other 10 digits around it are lower, and that is not by mistake. This is because it's a serious issue, right? And 8,700, we see some a decent level of support, and of course the 50s and the 100s. Whole numbers show stronger levels of resistance and support than non-whole numbers. That's why I really said, you know, critical support would be 9,000. You know, critical support could be 5,800 looking at the technical analysis, but whole number wise, it is not. So make sure you guys, you know, we're chatting in there. You could chat there. It's only us here in the Moon Lounge, so let me know if you guys have any questions and we could go over it. So my strategy today was to set stop losses at 9,000, a small stop loss at 9,000, a medium stop loss at 9,400. But I'm already reiterated that was our support level. Anytime you hit the support level, it indicates a good stop loss level as well. Right underneath that stop loss level would be pretty good, right? So for example, if our critical support level was $9,400, you know, $9,350 would be a decent stop loss level. Considering we did break through that, we are going to continue to plummet down here, and then maybe we'll buy back a little bit later. But our next support level it's looking like 8,700, and then we'll see that 8,500 mark. And this is happening time and time again. Snake for Prez, Sam Flotus, First Lady of the House of the United States. I don't think Sam would be my First Lady. No, that's not how I roll. But yeah. Okay. How do you put stop losses for your coins? So this is a very good question. So people have a different method of how they do it, but I'm actually going to just show you on the charts what I do. All right, 1 second goes. BTC, USD, Coinbase. So we have that 9,400 resistance. And what did we do? We tried to test it. We had that 6-hour candle. So we're in the 6 hours. Let's look at it in the hourly. So we did try to test it, right? Once, twice. Third time we kind of tried to climb right back above it, but we ultimately broke down from there. Now, this is a risky move, but it happened anyways. And you know, if you're looking at historically, let's look at it in the 4-hour historically. So we've already tested off that support one, so this indicates support. That's why I did put that $9,400 resistance. We still have not broken through that long-term moving average. That's out of 400. So let's go back to the 6 hours. Yep. So we still have not broken through that $1,200 mark, which is our moving average, our 100-day moving average here. So how would I set a stop loss? Let me actually just type it out for you here. I'll put it in yellow so you guys could see. So if I think support is 9,400, which I did think, what I would do is I would set a small stop loss. For example, I set around 10% of my total portfolio, my total Bitcoin, right? And the trigger is if BTC price is under, for example, 9, and I usually do like a $2 spread so I know it gets cleared. If BTC price is under 900 and 352 or 350, then sell for 9,348. So this is how I set my stop losses, right? And when that means under, let me actually go in and edit it. If Bitcoin price is less than 350, then sell for 9,348. Right, guys? Why is this happening? Mt. Gox, FUD. So I think we're still in a bear market, and I think 8,000 is going to be a better level that we could test off of, but I definitely thought we were overinflated anyways. I mean, if we're going to the daily is confirming down, so this is concerning. Our daily is saying, okay, we still have not sold off the appropriate amount. So daily saying MACD is still going to low, and we could see several more days of sell-off. You know, even over a week of sell-off until we hit that critical RSI levels where we could bounce right back off of. But you know, just looking at this, we had that nice little green momentum, and now we're going to go through another red momentum cycle. So I think we could easily see 7,000 without a doubt. I think we could even easily see 8,000 just as easy. You know, we could drop right down below it. I don't think it's much of a problem, and we are seeing that right now. So we're seeing just in that mark, we've already broken through that 8,700 mark. You know, these orders are getting eaten alive, guys. This is one heck of a time. Let's just say that it's one heck of a time here. 8,664 is the mark that we're at right now. So obviously some very good shorting opportunities here. We're seeing a 10% drop from price. This is a market crash. Don't even, you know, this is something to look at. This is something to definitely analyze, and I would not be overzealous here. If you need the money, I would say set your stop losses accordingly. I personally have set my stop losses accordingly, and I'm not buying back until I see some reversal signals. I think we could continue to drop at 8,000 and even below 8,000 to 7,000, and then we'll continue to test these psychological levels. But if this sell volume and sell off continues, you know, we don't know when the bottom is actually going to be, and it already looks like that we're trying to fight the bears here. The bulls are trying to fight the bears here. Yeah, I've said this time and time again that until we break through that moving average, our 100-day moving average, I don't think we're going anywhere. I think this is it. I think we are traveling in this sideways channel, and until more investors see use case for it, or we see it hitting oversold levels, we won't have that tremendous amount of volume come back in. So yes, lots of people are scared at any time SEC is mentioned, and Mt. Gox trustee situation isn't helping the market impression either. So absolutely, I don't think the market has room for a Mt. Gox type dump, right? Where we saw 30,000 Bitcoin being dumped straight back into fiat. So remember, I went over the supply and demand curve last time and yesterday's video. So I think that Bitcoin especially is going through this accumulation phase and information phase where investors are not going to over leverage themselves, right? Absolutely not going to over leverage themselves. And we says don't forget the G20 317. So G20 is huge, guys. G20 is the countries inside of the G20 which are very big, powerful economic powerhouses, and they decide and vote on certain regulations such as accords, trade treaties, sanctions, and of course how to properly regulate certain new budding technologies, right? Many countries are already very vocal about regulation. Absolutely. I think hello Kumar, by the way, thank you for joining us. So I think that we are going to go through this accumulation phase, this consolidation phase rather, and until we hear more about what regulations are actually going to come out of, what come out of this. So, as you know, we have been, we're actually going to try to bring on either Jordan or Amal onto the webinar and, go over a little bit more technical indicators with you guys. Because again, if we're asleep or someone's not responding to you, these trades are happening live. So we also offer the course for absolutely free for any Moon Lounge Cryptosomnic Advantage members. So just ask us in the Slack, private message me or Sam, and we'll be sure to go ahead and give you a course link for absolutely free. So be sure to message us if you do not have a course link. And just in case you want to learn about these technical indicators in a more structured course-like approach, we could absolutely help with that. So Mason says, why the F wouldn't Mt. Gox do over the counter? Go ahead, just dump it in the market and you get yourself a Big Mac. Yeah. So they needed to secure some profits for their investors, and their company reserve and token reserve. This was planned out ahead of time with the governing body of Japan, allegedly. So met with Amal this evening. He's a beast. Yeah, Amal is a beast. He's a technical analysis beast. I'm glad he's joined the team here. And we're going to continue incorporating some of these more features. Something that we are considering is a SMS feature, a text message feature, which we'll be implementing alongside with our RSI feature that we will be implementing on the portfolio tracker and the website in general. So we're doing constant upgrades, and if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I will be glad to look into it and see if it's worthwhile to implement. Many countries are absolutely vocal about regulation. So if we just go here and we zoom out here and we look at the coin market cap, it's blood in the streets here, guys. There's no doubt about it. Neo down 33%. We're at $85 at Neo. Yesterday, I was thinking I thought we were going to see some sort of reversal for Neo, especially with all the hype behind Neo. $85 is low, guys. I thought $100 was a decent time to pick up. But if you're looking in terms of BTC, I mean, let's look at it in terms of BTC. So in terms of BTC, we're seeing a huge drop off in Neo for the last 7 days, Cardano for the last 7 days, EOS for the last 7 days, and again, these platforms are getting hit hard. It is Cardano. So, and we had a lot of questions today about GIFTO. So we had an interview with GIFTO, and you previously heard me, hey Snay, I previously heard you say not to touch GIFTO, and I'm not saying the project is bad. I think the project is good. We welcome having good high-profile CEOs like that on the channel. It only helps us with our credibility, and it gets us insight about they truly do want to revolutionize, content creators and their platforms on the blockchain, right? Being able to support content creators on the block form. Snay is looking sad today. I'm not looking sad. So this is a private Moon Lounge call, Aeon. So this is just us being serious. This is not my sad face. This is my serious face. So this is just us on the Moon Lounge here together. So feel free to answer any sort of question. I'll be more than happy to answer your guys' questions here today. So, yep, I don't think GIFTO is a bad project, but I don't like it that there's so much uncertainty with the massive pump and dump. It's not really a pump and dump, but the pressure, the buy and sell pressure that's so erratic that comes with any of T. Couture's investments, that doesn't make me happy as an investor. The fact that I could lose 40% overnight on GIFTO, I'm not happy about that. I'm not saying it's a bad. I'm not saying it's a bad investment, guys. You haven't missed much. We just talked about Bitcoin and its possible support levels, and yeah, feel free to answer any questions. Ask any questions. So, could you argue that BTC just finished its fifth wave, the double top, and is necessary retracement to the next wave? After the fifth wave, a 50% retracement is known to occur. So Elliott wave analysis and Elliott waves in general that's a debatable feature. I think Elliott waves is a very, very debatable feature. I don't think it's a very applicable to a up and coming budding industry like Bitcoin. Excuse me, like Bitcoin, an up and coming budding industry. But we'll definitely look into it. And we're definitely going to keep monitoring the situation. I don't think that Bitcoin is. I don't think it's going to go through this traditional Elliott wave analysis. Yeah, I guess I don't surf waves. Yeah, I invest in technology primarily. And that's why every single investment I have made, I made with technology at the forefront of it. That even if they do have bad technology, they have. They have a little FUD here and there. That's okay, but the technology is solid, and they're able to do what they're promising. Even though I've been a huge Komodo fanboy, and even though Komodo hasn't been performing to my expectations, the technology is what keeps my mind at peace, right? While it's things like Cardano, EOS, and high performance blockchain, those are very speculative picks. It's why I picked up NEO under $1, right? Where I was very happy about NEO under $1. Don't get me wrong, but it was speculative at first. These speculations, I don't think should be. I don't think you should confuse speculation with solid technical analysis, right? Where and on the other side, yeah, we is also another big Komodo fanboy as well. So I like the technology, and on the other side of the aisle, I like things like Genesis Vision and Track, which both provide a protocol, an underlying protocol for investors and companies with supply chain logistic issues alike. So we'll go over GVT. So a lot of people did comment, hey Snay, thank you. I got a lot of private messages. Hey Snay, thank you for that GVT call. It's the only thing that's positive in my portfolio. Even GVT took a little bit of a hit today. Let's go find it. So even GVT took a little bit of a hit, but we're still really cushy on GVT, aren't we? Let's go back to USD. So it even took a little bit of a hit. It was almost as high as 40. But yeah, let's go take a look at GVT. So I'm not overly bearish on Bitcoin, but it's a concerning fact to digest, right? I don't think it's I don't think we're out of the woods. I think we could easily see 6,000. That 5,800 support, I think it's very easy. I think it's very, very easy to go through. The next support I would say is 8,500. Let's see if we could break 8,500, guys. If this is, people are panic selling. People are panic selling, and people are losing a lot of money, and they're panic selling, and they're selling for a loss, and they're gonna buy back at a higher price because you cannot predict these markets. if you need the money, from my personal opinion, I'm not your financial advisor. Of course, you guys already know that, but my personal opinion on Bitcoin is that it is overly footed out right now, where there's regulation coming out, there's naysayers coming out, there's a lot of deliberation about Lightning Network, there's lots of FUD. Even that whole SegWit 2x thing was a FUD, huge FUD coming out, where they said, okay, yeah, we're going to support SegWit 2x, but no one actually wanted to support SegWit 2x, and everyone kind of ran out from any sort of responsibility with SegWit 2x. So we're seeing a lot of deliberation here, and especially with Bitcoin Cash, kind of draining the momentum of Bitcoin a little bit. And it's important to know that you should not over leverage yourself. If you are too heavily involved in cryptocurrencies and you're banking on this for example, to make next month's rent payment, or banking on 100% on your kid's future on Bitcoin, I don't think this is a particularly smart idea. I think you should absolutely diversify into traditional investments as well. But even in traditional investments, not much is doing well. My blue chip stocks have been taking a beating on my 401k, like a huge beating on my 401k. So maybe get some large cap mutual funds in your 401k or another savings bonds. That would be highly suggestible, right? Yeah, had to cash out to pay gains taxes for 2017. Yeah, so I actually have not been issued a 1099 from Coinbase because I actually didn't withdraw that much. I bought a lot, but I didn't withdraw that much. I'm still long-term hodler for Bitcoin. I still have that solid long-term potential outlook here. And make sure you guys pay your taxes. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of gray areas here, and right now, you want to make sure you're following rules and regulations. But my personal suggestion is move over to Binance or something out of the States. I think Binance is a very good exchange, and it's obviously one of the most reputable exchanges out there. There's a face behind the name. They don't want to go to jail. They do their own auditing. They have an amazing PR staff. Just seeing this whole PR move by Binance, especially after this API hacking, I think it's very, very very smart what they did. They came out in front of it. They handled the situation very well. Even when John McAfee called Binance out saying, "Hey, this is a hack," and when all that happened was their failover actually failed to respond. So what do I mean by failover? One of their servers, if a server goes down, it fails over, right? And if a failover, even on the test side, there's a validation environment and a production environment, and if a failover fails, they shut down the system to analyze the entire problem. So I think CZ, their PR, and CZ, which is the CEO of Binance, has done a fantastic job, right? All right, so let's go through GVT like I promised. Can you explain BitMEX to a rookie? So BitMEX, you're allowed to margin trade. It's a little bit of the Wild West on BitMEX. A lot of high-level traders trade on BitMEX, as you've seen. You're able to do trailing stop losses, and it gives you a lot of functionality on BitMEX. So that's why a lot of people do use it. And obviously, there's awesome referral codes as well onto BitMEX, so people like that as well. Yeah, Forbes cover boy. Yeah, he was on the cover of, I believe it was February, right? He went from $0 to a billionaire in 6 months. So that's who CZ is, right? CZ is a force to be reckoned with in the space. Sorry, guys. All right, So GVT, like I said before, I'm not selling anytime soon. I mean, it's good. It's smart to take profits, but it hasn't broken down through my levels that I would consider concerning. This is in the daily. 4 hour looking negative, but let's look at it in the hourly. 1 hour looking negative as well. So I've bought very, very early, so I'm able to swallow a little bit of a hit. But I think you can set your stop losses relatively soon here. You know, for example, around that 0.0035 mark, and you could potentially pick it back up at 0.003, which is again that purple resistance, upward trending resistance. That is going to be a upward trending support. Is going to be a strong level of support overall. So just looking at this hourly, we've had such a nice run up here. RSI dropping so fast. I mean, wow, it took us only 4 hours it only took us 4 hours to drop, you know, a solid 6-7% here. So you know, and we can continue to drop until 0.003 until we hit that nice little another level of resistance. But I still think that GVT you could pick up at a better price, like I said yesterday and the day before. It's a little bit run up right now, but you got to expect this run up. You know, you got to absolutely expect this run up. I mean, we have seen this time and time again that that when there's a big release like Genesis Vision's huge release of their alpha testnet, right, which allows a lot of these fund managers to finally test out how they're going to work with Genesis Vision. And we have a surprise appearance from the one and only Samwise Capizzi. So he is actually leaving to
Puerto Crypto.
Puerto Crypto, yeah.
I'm going to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so he'll be going tomorrow, and I'll be going on the 13th. So we may have some intermittent communication, but we'll see if we have power or electricity or food.
But you can still send me nudes, right?
Yeah, great. Okay. Great. Good thing this is only to the Moon Lounge. Good Lord.
What we are working on right now is we're actually finishing up an article on all the privacy coins. So that'll be released tomorrow morning at I think our usual time. We're starting to get into the habit of releasing these articles at 6:30 Pacific. AM or 9:30 Eastern. So we have an article coming out tomorrow on 6-7 privacy coins, and then we are working on the next article we're working on is an article that categorizes all the coins, or at least the top 100 to 150 by what they are, like platform versus blockchain versus privacy versus speed versus gambling versus all the different ones.
Right. And we're going to try to categorize that for you guys. I mean, it's so hard to keep track of all of these new cryptocurrencies, specifically with all these up and coming ICOs, you know, getting launched on IDEX and mining through Delta and Kyber and KuCoin. It's hard to keep up with everything. So we're going to try to, just like what we have, a little categorized ranking system for the ICOs, we'll try to do that in your traditional investments as well, or, you know, pre-existing cryptocurrencies.
Just to give you my take on Genesis Vision, it's going to come back eventually, and it's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
It has a nice run up. Their alpha's going, so you buy the rumor, sell the news. I actually sold some. I think I missed some gains, but I'm more of a long-term trader, so I'm looking at this whole thing and going like, all right, well, we'll probably end up coming back to, if this were to be the high, who knows if it'll end up being the high or not, but we'd come back to somewhere in this region here, 0.00187. We'll see if that's the top, but if we're looking at it long term, that's my opinion. So exactly. I'm waiting to buy.
So that's one of the things that what we try to do on this channel and in the Moon Lounge. I mean, this is a Moon Lounge call. This is specifically a Moon Lounge call. So what we try to do is we try to mix technical analysis with fundamentals and releases and technology. We know the technology's there. We know the partnerships are there. We know that they are connected, and we know they have a very unique use case and a unique structure of how they want to handle tokenized funds. And we also know the technical analysis part. This is very run up. but combining, you can't have one without the other. Right now, we're seeing an alpha release of around April 1st or March 31st for their testnet, and this is when we'll finally get our first-hand views, and fund managers will finally be able to look into Genesis Vision.
And just like any other thing where you see the mainnet launches, there's a conference, there's a big bomb drop into mainnet, whatever it is, it almost always goes down after it happens.
Absolutely.
So I can almost guarantee you that Genesis Vision is approaching its high, at least in the interim, over the next couple weeks. Of course, in the long term, if you're looking at it in a couple years, who the hell knows where it could go. But
right.
If you're looking at it in this next month or so, I'm telling you, it's getting pretty close to its all-time high.
You want to
probably cool off for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to make sure that you're securing some profits. If you're just holding into investments like Genesis Vision, and you're just holding onto it without securing any profits, by I mean securing profits, I mean accumulating more BTC. And if you're not accumulating more BTC and you're just riding these waves up and down, that's fine too. But if you want to swing trade, and when I mean swing trade, usually I wouldn't even call it swing trading, because swing trading kind of connotates, staying in a position a couple days. But if you want to invest long-term positions and you could still get gains, wait for it to drop, and then pick it back up later, within a few weeks or within a week period of time, I think that's a very smart process, right? And that's what I've shifted towards to. There, I used to be like, 1 or 2 days, and then I'm out of a position, enter a position, exit a position, and that's profitable as well. But for me, for the peace of mind area, even if I forget to set a stop loss for Genesis Vision, I believe in the technology enough, I believe in the team enough, where I could potentially hold this long term. And I do believe Genesis Vision, but that's just one example. For example, Tron. Tron's a hotly debated one. So it was smart to sell at the top. We knew it was super, super overhyped, and now it's getting down to that real consolidated phase. I'm still down on it, even though I bought under 400. I'm still down on the Tron trade a little bit, but to me, it gives me a little bit of security.
It's a lot better than buying it up here.
Right, absolutely. It's a lot better than buying Genesis Vision up there, or even Tron up there. But you want to make sure that you believe in the coins you invest in. Obviously, if you don't believe it, I have a huge portfolio and a lot of coins I don't believe in. But as soon as I see a profit, I also have take profits as well.
Fabrizio asks, I was confused by your question. For exchanges too, what I mean is a list of trustworthy exchanges. I mean, I guess we don't recommend ever holding large amounts of money on the exchanges. There are a couple exchanges that we like more than others. At the end of the day, I'd say the 4 or 5 that we use are probably Bittrex, Binance, KuCoin. Honestly, that's most of it. Occasionally Poloniex, occasionally.
Yeah.
As
Coinbase.
far as safe, occasionally GDAX or Coinbase, and occasionally Kraken. Other than that, I'm a little skeptical of all the other ones like IDEX, Cryptopia, Liqui. We kind of consider them all like in their own category, but those 4 or 5 are the ones we most use. And again, all our money is spread out so much that if we ever lost money, even if it's on a hard wallet, it kind of gets weird to hold like, if you're holding $100,000 on a hard wallet, maybe it's time to get a second hard wallet and put it on a second one.
Absolutely.
Huobi, I don't really use that much. We own, we own a little bit. We actually own some Huobi token. The business owns Huobi token.
Do we buy it?
Yeah.
See, I don't even know.
That's about the only thing that I own over on Huobi. It's just to hold Huobi token though, which I think is good because I saw the trend in tokens, and I think a lot of the tokens will do very well. Huobi is one of the most liquid exchanges out there. It's number like 2 or 3 on as far as trading volume goes. So I thought Huobi token would be a good pickup. But other than that, I don't really actually own or hold anything on Huobi itself. I think most of the things that Huobi has, you could hold elsewhere. But that's about all I own in Huobi.
Dak G says, "Wear sunscreen, gringo."
I need to get tan. It's been a long time.
Yeah, actually, surprisingly, if Sam stays out in the sun long enough, he doesn't really burn, but he gets this nice Indian brown color. So, well, maybe he'll come out.
Maybe you guys will mistake me when I come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Love lots of those exchange tokens too. Yeah, so I would load up on Binance, KuCoin to a lesser extent, Hubie. Hubie's got a ton of volume, so I feel like a lot of those will do very well. And trust me, as the exchanges keep going up, like it's a no-brainer that the exchange tokens will go up. And Kyber is actually a part of that list as well. Unfortunately, like I said, when a mainnet launches or something comes out like Kyber, it goes down. That's just the way it works. So,
and let's go actually check out Kyber. I mean,
Kyber might bounce back soon because in April you're supposed to actually be able to use it regardless of if you're an ICO token purchaser. And I think it's a steal. I've read so many great articles on it. It's at a steal right now, and it's just a great time to buy. No reason as to why you shouldn't be picking some up. So go pick yourself some up.
Yeah, I mean it's taking a beating here, guys. It is taking a huge beating, and
that's a good thing.
Exactly.
Take some profits from GVT and go buy yourself some KNC.
Absolutely, this is the time to do things like this. But you know, a word of advice is, if I would look at try to find reversal signals or bottomed out signals in Bitcoin, and once you determine that, okay, this is when I think it's going to be a bottom for Bitcoin, then you can look into the altcoins and say, okay, now all these altcoins are a really cheap price. I'm going to invest into a little bit of the altcoins, because once Bitcoin starts running back up, altcoins start to follow. Right? It's usually Bitcoin, when Bitcoin hits those strong reversal signals, and when the bears are finally back into the game, we see the altcoins rise with it. So yeah,
I'm ELA and WPR and Hubie. So I'm gonna get Crispy in Puerto Rico. Tony Turn Up. Who is that?
I don't know.
Do you know who that is?
I don't know who Tony Turn Up is.
Tony Turn Up is in the house right now.
Who's Tony Turn Up?
He's the only other person in the house.
Is that Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, okay, it's Jason. Okay. Tony Turn Up.
That's his name on Spotify, musician. Anyway, what else is going on?
I wanted to talk a little bit about portfolio management and how you could remediate risks when you're traveling or you're unable to look at your portfolio for example, a week or so, or you're unable to access your portfolio. So what precautions are you taking before you go to Puerto Rico? Where are you going to just YOLO it?
You keep your money safe, and for me, I'm a long-term investor. I actually have gotten less and less time to trade, so I don't use stop losses. I don't actively trade really much anymore. So for me, I'm just gonna sit and watch, and you know, if there is a decent opportunity to buy something new or enter with some maybe spare fiat, maybe I'll do that, but that's about it. I'm confident in all the positions I've gotten. Usually in a bear market, I use the extra time to research the coins that I'm in, and if there's any that don't make sense, I just cut them. And otherwise, if I'm in it, I'm usually in it for the long term. I rarely trade anything. When I do swing trade, I don't swing trade things I don't like. I usually swing trade the things I do like. So even if they're down, I usually you know, just hold it for the long term, even if it's down, because I still believe in it. Otherwise, I'll readjust it, and I'll cut it and get rid of it if it doesn't make sense. And that happens from time to time. We get into things preemptively, or you know, when something is solid, I might look to accumulate more of it, like Kyber. You know, and it doesn't. You know, when you get into something new, it's 1%, 2%, 3%, nothing major in my portfolio. But then I'll look and do more research, and maybe I'll either cut it out or maybe I'll add more. But
so this is what we're talking about. This is so Fresh to Sauce says, curious Sam, how do you make money off of crypto if you're not trading? So,
I hodl it.
So no, he hodls it, but what we also do is we portfolio rebalance, right? So if GVT is run up so far up, and you want to take out you want to rebalance that to 5% of your portfolio, but now it's 10% of your portfolio. So maybe not 50%, maybe you don't cut it out 50%, but you take maybe 20% out and reallocate it into some cheaper cryptocurrencies, right? And that way you're hitting two birds with one stone, where you're buying something that's cheap, oversold, lots of FUD, super silent, but you know is a good piece of technology. So that's a quick example would be GVT and Kyber, just like we talked about. But again, you could do this with anything that's oversold and overbought.
So yeah, I mean, you do want to keep in mind, I remember this happened with Neo a while ago. Neo was like, I don't know, at one point it was like half of my portfolio, which I did not want it to be. It doesn't make sense for Neo to be half of my portfolio above things like Bitcoin and Ethereum. So at times you do have to readjust your portfolio when things grow out of proportion. It happened with Tron. I invested into Tron at ICO stage, and it grew to be well above my expectations and a lot more of my portfolio than I thought it should be. It took up like 20 or 30% of my overall portfolio, which I also didn't feel comfortable with. So I'll readjust at times when things become disproportionate.
Yeah.
But
hey boys, big love from Perth, Australia. Been following for a while. Finally get to the advantage. I was thinking of throwing some spare money at KNT, maybe DNT. I don't know about DNT. District 0x.
Kyber a lot more than District 0x.
Yeah.
I don't think District 0x is a bad project, but I wouldn't be as comfortable investing in it as I would Kyber. Kyber, I feel like
agree.
is a surefire bet.
I agree.
DNT, I think, is speculative. If you like it, personally, I own some. I do hold some. It's
Me
not
too.
very large. I definitely hold a lot more Kyber than I do DNT, that's for sure.
Can you look at Neblio? We will look at Neblio, of course. But Fabrizio asked Dragon Chain, and it just dipped under $1. So I actually have not looked at where.
Just to give you an idea, I know Palm Beach, it's on their board of recommendations to purchase it anytime under $5. I feel like it's a really good project. The only thing that holds me back from liking it a little bit more is they're diving headfirst into U.S. regulatory compliance stuff. And they want to, what they want to do is they want to be ICO U.S. compliant. And that's probably literally the hardest thing you could be trying to achieve in crypto. So it's not going to be easy, but the fact that they're doing it, and I think they're doing it by the books, could be huge. And on top of all the other stuff that you guys probably know about Dragon. But just to throw that out there, Tika Tawari says buy it under $5.
I'm actually very happy that Sam's here right now because I'm going to ask him about GIFTO. So what do you think about GIFTO?
I think GIFTO's all right. It's average. I think I understand. So Tika Tawari also had a long report that we read on GIFTO, and it makes sense from the standpoint that everything in this digital space is going to increase over time. Like, we ourselves are online influencers, and we do YouTube, and we can work from anywhere in the world, and that's happening all the time, and it's going to just continue to increase over the next 5 to 10 years, and for pretty much for a while. Online businesses are pretty new, to be honest. The last 5-10 years, people have been able to work from wherever they want in the world, and that's only going to continue to increase. You have video games, you have YouTubers, you have probably 30 other things that I can't even think of. You have literally porn, webcams, you have all these different things, and you could use GIFTO as a means of rewarding people for that. And I think it's a little gimmicky, but at the same time, I know the market for it is going to continue to rise, so that's important for me. At least the market is going to continue to rise.
So this was my only concern, Sam, is that since Tika Tawari, like Syndicator and like GIFTO, he's able to push up and down the market. As an investor, that's concerning to me, right? So that's why I specifically told people, maybe hold off until it consolidates a little bit, which it has.
Well, I think it has. So the day that GIFTO, I'll pull up GIFTO for you. Type in GTO.
You want to just go there?
I no, because I want to do something. Wait, do I want to do? No, I don't. But whatever. So I think the day he called it was, wow, it tanked since then. This is when, well, it's pretty damn obvious when he called it, and it sunk within about a week's time, a little less than that probably. It's back down to the same levels. So, I mean, I think he has influence obviously the day that he buys it, but at the end of the day, I don't think that it's like detrimental. Like almost all the calls he's made, they spiked. But then they always come back at a certain point. Like, if you're there for the profit, it's probably, it's a great tactic to make a little bit of money and get right out.
Oh, yeah, and my bad, guys. I think I've enabled, I did not enable slow mode. Okay. All right, cool. So Monero is $250.
I love Monero.
Yeah, I love Monero too. And I think it's going to,
in fact,
explode. I think Monero is a fantastic investment right now.
Monero,
I was actually looking at it earlier today.
Very interestingly, though, and I could be wrong about this, it's actually held its own better than almost any coin has since the Bitcoin drop. It's literally just went up since October. and very little downward movement. It's at an all-time high, which isn't great, but it's also been extremely stable and good investment. Like, it's outpaced Bitcoin by a load since Bitcoin's high in December, January, whenever it was.
Yeah, Monero's one of those coins where when the regulators come knocking, you want to have Monero in your stocking. All right.
But it is good that the rise is like gradual. Like,
absolutely.
See this one? This was when it got listed on a couple of exchanges.
The Korean exchanges, yeah.
And some stuff happened, and it literally came down to almost the exact same price that it was before. So at least this one's gradual. So like, I like it better than I liked it over here, though both are pretty much at an all-time high. But like, I like it right now more so than I liked it over here, because you can see this one was literally like overnight, whereas this one now, it's got a bunch of these areas of resistance that it's falling or could fall back on.
So for example, if you're looking at this right now, we're seeing price in Bitcoin, and we're seeing 24-hour volume. So I think once the volume picks back up for Monero, which I know it will because regulators are coming, I think the demand for Monero is going to be explosive. I think the demand for any privacy coin is going to be very explosive. So whether that be ZK snarks or ring signatures, we prefer ring signatures after much deliberation. So far, there are no platforms out there that you could build off ring signatures or have ring signatures integrated. But ZK snarks, on the other hand, such as Komodo, such as Ethereum in the future, such as Zcash, of course, Zcash and Zencash and Zclassic and Bitcoin Private, all of those, I think they will see a maybe not Bitcoin Private, but definitely Zcash. I think is going to see a similar pump with Monero as well. Thoughts on ontology? So ontology is actually very interesting as well. You guys, move your green screen. Ugh. You've got a hole in your background. Okay.
That's a little better. Oh, slide it a tiny bit more.
All right, hold on.
All right, that's good. That's better. No.
Let's just scoot over. All right, cool. All right. All right, cool. All right, right behind Sam. Okay.
So yeah, please tell me about nulls. And someone said ontology.
Ontology is that Trinity. So we were supposed to have a
Trinity.
So we were supposed to have a Trinity interview.
Is Bitcoin 86?
Yeah.
On GDAX. What is it on CoinMarketCap?
On average, I think it's like right below.
Oh yeah. Wow, we dropped a lot recently.
Yeah.
But Ontology is partnered with Trinity Network, which we're supposed to have an interview with at some point. And what do they do exactly? They verify or identify certain, I don't know if it's vendors or identity.
So essentially what Trinity Network is like Raiden and it's like Lightning Network. So what it requires is centralized nodes, right? It requires centralized nodes. I'm going to be investing in it when I get a chance. Would you know what exchanges it is?
Trinity or Ontology?
Ontology. Let's see.
Binance.
It's on Binance already. So
that's pretty good.
I was thinking about investing into it. So in order to get trusted nodes and to be validated, to have your identity validated, saying yes, I have this reputation of trust. Trinity has partnered with Ontology. And I think this is a very critical partnership. The one thing that I'm very confused about, though, is... Yeah, it's funny. Just stock images. The one thing that I'm confused about with Ontology and Trinity and Raiden and Lightning Network is Raiden and Lightning Network, the developers have came out and said if you're transmitting a large amount of Ethereum or Bitcoin, Ethereum on Raiden and Bitcoin on Lightning, then you want to be using the main chain. You don't want to be using the Lightning Network because it causes an incentive for people to lie, right? Neo, on the other hand, Trinity, I've scoured the internet and they said it'll be able to handle huge transactions, big transactions. So over 1,000 Neo, which I don't think is smart because you're essentially relying. If you're ever transmitting anything and or sending any coins on the Lightning Network or Raiden Network once it is out, I would highly suggest that you just use the main chain instead of going through this side chain. So essentially, Raiden and the Lightning Network is a side chain solution. Or an off-chain solution. Raiden Network really didn't even need a token. It honestly didn't even need a token. Just like Trinity didn't really even need a token. You could just use the underlying protocol if you wanted to in a special wallet. But they are having a token regardless to fund the project, which is fine with me. I don't care. I think it's actually a good investment. But there's a lot of questions up in the air about Trinity, and we're hoping this interview can answer a lot of these questions for you.
I think I'm going to go keep packing.
All right. This will be the last time you see Sam ever.
I may disappear.
He may disappear. He may swim with the whales and the dolphins.
Stay in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And may never come back. Yeah. We'll stream from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So bring your computer.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't want to work.
All right. I'll bring my computer. All right. Safe travels, Sam. Safe travels, Sam.
Now.
Yeah. He's leaving tomorrow morning.
Going to pack.
Yeah, but this will probably be the last time I'll see him. I'm not waking up in the morning for him. No way. But yeah, I'm not a morning person. I'm a crypto-somniac, so I'm a no-time person. I just wake up when I wake up and go to sleep when I go to sleep. So sometimes you'll see me at 4 a.m., still trading and looking at the charts. And sometimes you'll see me at, noon and be like saying good morning. So good stuff, guys. So we had some questions on nulls and Zilliqa. So these credits in Zilliqa, Zilliqa, am I saying that right? I don't know how to say that. But, they're, again, perspective picks. I think they are speculative in nature. They don't have a product out. So I don't think anything without any speculative thing like that, it's kind of a wait and see moment for me. If you really do believe in the team and the technology, I think it's a good idea. All right, guys. So I'm going to go over Ethereum and Litecoin, and then we'll call it a day. So I really do appreciate you guys joining me. Make sure you guys are rebalancing your portfolio properly. We have that webinar, I think, posted. Hold on, guys. Actually, give me a second. Let me actually, before I speak too soon, let me just go to cryptosonic.com. And this is the back end. Let me go on the front end. Log in here. And guys, if you want any features implemented, let me know, and I will absolutely. Do I stake any coins besides Neo? I stake my QTUM. And I'm staking my wager, which is actually I haven't started. It's on my computer, but I keep turning off my computer, so I don't think I'll probably ever end up staking it. But I do have some wager as well. Eat, sleep, gonna buy Neo under 80 and repeat. That's pretty good. So right here in the recent webinar, we have this portfolio management that Sam and I that have done. You could listen to it. It's a 25-minute video. This was our first webinar together. It's just to define how we allocate our portfolios and how to properly update them and keep them balanced. And again, we also have our portfolio tracker that we are constantly adding implementations to. So if you have some questions, look into, you want an Excel sheet or whatnot, we have a portfolio tracker that you're able to access anywhere around the world. It's fully online, device to device, desktop to mobile, whatever you guys want. This is why we kind of created it. And of course, you can check out the news. And I would not suggest diving into the forums just yet. It's a hassle to deal with that. But we also have a lot of people talking here on the troll box as well. So just check out the portfolio tracker, and So nobody really has access to this other than you guys. Only the Advantage members have access to this. So, and then of course, once you are an upgraded member of the Advantage, you could look at registering for the Moon Lounge or the Slack channel, and these buttons will pop up and as soon as you have upgraded. So if you're at Advantage, welcome, and think about upgrading to the Moon Lounge, which we have a lot of fun there. The Slack channel is always active, really. So really fantastic things. You know, and feel free to private message any one of us, anybody with the word admin behind them. So whether that be we, me, Sam, Amal, Sean, Jason, you know, feel free to Sean. You know, feel free to reach out to them if you have any specific questions that you don't feel like need to be shared publicly. But if you do feel like it's a good question, make sure you share it publicly. I think it's good information, and it keeps the balls rolling and the wheels turning. So I'm going to look at Neo actually right now. So Neo is taking a dive, guys. Wow. I didn't think we would break down that low. Let's look at this in the hourly. Hourly is looking atrocious. So we have yet to find a bottom signal for BTC, for Neo, for Ethereum. I'd primarily look at BTC right now. MACD level is not leveling off. This is wrong. I would not consider this leveling off. I think we're still in a huge bearish pattern here. We'll see if we could kind of level off, but right now it's looking like we are forming a double top formation and we are going to be heading down. So what does that mean? What does that double top formation mean? Hold on. Where's this bad boy? Whoops. Oh, I can never find this. Polyline. Ah, there it is. So this is a double top formation that has formed, and we are continuing to break down here. You know, actually look at that, from breakout to breakdown. So our next probably level of support will be around that 8,400 mark, 8,500 mark, and we are approaching that with steadily increasing speed. Even if we look into the 30 minutes, we're still headed down here. So this is a clear double top formation. We are still looking at a bearish movement here, so be careful, guys. Set your stop losses. Make sure you're taking profits when it's right to do so. So that being said, setting my sights on some cheap OMG. OMG is very cheap right now, and there's a lot of cheap things going on. Make sure you're allocating your portfolio correctly. Make sure you're taking profits when accurate, right? You don't want to, whether that be USDT or USD or altcoin to Bitcoin, make sure you're taking profits, because you could. This is a prime time to accumulate more GVT or more Kyber. You know, you want to make sure you're getting in these low prices. So really do appreciate it, guys. M pattern, bad news. Absolutely, it is bad news. I'll be on the Moon Lounge tonight, so you know, feel free to private message me or let's talk in the community discussion. It has been great, and yeah, I'm gonna try to bring on Amal or Jordan, or maybe even both. Maybe both. Yeah, it's these webinars will still continue once a week. We are going to Puerto Rico soon, so we are going there. I'm going there next week. Sam's leaving tomorrow, so next week is going to be a little hectic, but I'm going to try to see if I could find some stable internet and talk to you guys. So we'll continue with the reports. Of course, you know, that doesn't really require too much internet power, but I really do appreciate all you guys joining me here today. Peace out, guys. Thanks for joining me here today, and hopefully you did enjoy this stream.